And happy Friday once again. Welcome back to another playoff edition of Grade A Power Plays for the NHL on the Grade A Fantasy channel. I am your boy, Grade A Fantasy. Welcome back. Let's take a quick review of what happened yesterday. So, like we said, Boldy 2 points, Cap Boldy 2 points, Cap by himself. Like I said, no market for Hartman, so I took shots on goal. But even though he got the shot, no Foligno. Obviously, once again, Eck didn't get anything. It's still plus money. Like I said, Eck is going to go down. It's going to get to the point where he was minus 128 by himself for this game. So Joe Eriksson, Eck probably by himself, might drop to minus 115, minus 120, which means if you take the risk of, now it seems to be a risk, if you take the risk of adding him to a combo, then yeah, it's something that could possibly work. And I think other than that, that was it. Those are the lower lines that I tried to attack. That was pretty much it. Oh, and then, of course, one of the best money line props, the Bennett. Like I said, Minnesota plus 130 was definitely a great money line play. So what did I do today? Let's get right into it. So that's a little baseball thing I got a little going on, but we're not here for MLB. I'm also playing that single game fantasy. So what do we have here? So big news that just came out just a little while ago. Calvin Pickard is now going to come in for Stuart Skinner. You got to pull in all the stops. Because basically, Edmonton, to save their season, they have to be able to take both. You can't take one. Because there's a big chance that even one, you're just delaying the inevitable and losing Game 5 back in LA. So, you got to do something. Calvin Pickard, I mean, is he an improvement of Stuart Skinner? I mean, not really. I mean, if you really want to, listen to season stats real quick before we move on, for the season, Pickard is, has a 2.69 goal against, 90% save percentage. But here's the other thing. Calvin Pickard also has also been dominated by the Kings in recent games. How recent? Literally just a couple weeks ago. He played in the last two games on April 5th and April 14th. And Edmonton beat Pickard in both games, scoring 7 in both of those games. And he took the L for that. He took the L. So gave up five goals in one, 2 in the other, still took the loss. So if you could give up the 2-goal Pickard, maybe you have a chance, because we are all expecting the Oilers to, just come out like gangbusters. And it's something that you should expect. This is something that they normally do, like when they're in danger and they fall, behind. But when they did the line rushes for today's game, all the big guns are up top. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman to the right. And then they have Klingberg and Bouchard, Nurse to the second, with Ty Emberson and Brett Kulak. Jake Wallman has now been rotated to the bottom pair. So, I mean, they got to do something to save their season. This is the game to save their season, because whether they win this game and lose the next one, especially if they lose this game, they might just get swept, because that just might show that after giving up those goals in the third period, Darcy Kemper's pretty much been flawless or played very well. So, other than that, what do we have here? First off, I don't know if they move these odds, but I like Andrei Kuzmenko for plus 100. They want him for 1.5 shots. Now, he's not going to get the weak matchups like he did at home, but if he could get some power play opportunities like they have been doing, and if they could, just still attack a very bad defensive pairing with no Matthias Ekholm, I like the prospect of Kuzmenko getting over 1.5 shots. All he needs is 2, if I'm not mistaken, as we climb up a bit. Oh, and by the way, no, they do not have a market for him any higher. Why they do not, I don't know. And on DraftKings, on DK, this prop opened at minus 110. It opened at plus 100 the way I got it, and then it went to like plus 102. So with that and the way he's been scoring, but like I said, I don't think the goalie or the defense, you might have different matchups being on the road now, but I still think Kuzmenko for a point Kuzmenko for 2 shots on goal, which is over the 1.5, plus 209, looks pretty good as well. But even though, when it comes to defensive depth and you got your main guns up there, you're going to have everybody else solo by themselves. So Quentin Byfield, once again, we're going to go with 3 shots plus 225. They once again start him very low. Over 1.5 is minus 144. And then as we keep going, once again, we're going to keep going with Byfield Fiala plus 132. As long as they keep scoring, it's going to keep going down. If you keep picking a pair, you're going to notice their props. Beginning of the series, I think you was getting this for almost plus 160. It's now plus 132. In the last game, it was plus 139 that I got it. And now that here's the strategic thing. So like I said, Hartman ended up getting a bunch of blocks, didn't get shots because now he's at home. He has to worry about the McDavid line. And he couldn't get over 1.5. Forget shots on goal. I think with somebody like Calvin Pickard, you can have now take the risk. And they don't have, the only thing that sucks is for some reason, FanDuel doesn't have Fogle for a market. That sucks because you know all 3 of them would have been plus money. But Trevor Moore and Philip Deneau are good because they're both on line 3. They're both on power play 2. So, with that being said, I definitely think besides picking the typical Byfield, Fiala, because like I said, they're the second line on the road. They're not going to see the top line. They're going to see the middle 6. And the line that's supposed to be guarding McDavid the whole time is definitely going to see the bottom 6. Not the mid 6, the bottom 6. Deneau, Moore, Deneau, Fogle. Like I said, once again, it sucks that he doesn't have a market. Let's see if they updated that. But I will be taking chances on the LA 3 line with Deneau. And obviously he should have a market on DK, but as on FanDuel here, nothing for Fogle. But for points and assists, did they update it? There goes Deneau, there goes Trevor Moore, Jake Wallman, Evander Kane. So no, they don't have anything for him. I wonder if they have anything for shots for him, at least. Kuzmenko. What is Kuzmenko now? It's slightly going up as the day goes on. Now it's plus 104. I got it at plus 100. There goes Byfield. Oh, there goes Warren Fogle. And they got him for over 1.5 as well. So a lot of these guys are starting low. I guess they're expecting maybe some type of defensive fallout because, they're at home. But I really don't see it. Like I said, once again, the Kings 1-3-0-5-0. Yes, that was a more injured Oilers team, so the Oilers couldn't really generate anything. But like I said, offensively, it still didn't really affect Picard in a way. In those games, if I'm not mistaken, it still stayed, the top line still was attackable. Like I said, once again, that was pretty much the Oilers towards the end of the season battling injuries, and then when they could, they was like, all right, let's rest these guys. On the 5th and the 14th of April. But in those games, Deneau, Fogle, and Moore did do pretty well and did generate on the road. So, I definitely like that. They're definitely going to get the best matches. Like I said, LA's a deep team with 3 lines. So, after you see a somewhat adequate top line of defensemen, I'm pretty sure still Byfield is still going to see some great matchups. Deneau, Moore, and Fogle are going to see some amazing matchups. So, that's why I definitely took that pairing. You have to take that pairing. I absolutely love that pairing right there with these guys. And obviously, yeah, that's the combo. Plus 267 for Deneau and Moore. And I took them singularly. Here's a Quentin Byfield. There goes Kuzmenko with his combo. Doesn't have to take that many shots. But he could let you down because there are times he just doesn't shoot. So, but like I said, let's see if they have to match the energy that the Oilers have, and if they continue getting some power plays and Kuzmenko keeps shooting, like I said, we'll see. Because he does have his days where he's mostly a setup guy. He has a whole bunch of days where he just has one. So hopefully he can get it there. It's one of the few times that I'm slightly nervous about a 1.5, but it is what it is. If anything else that I might be interested in putting in later, like I said, you still have all day. This is the last game on the slate. Like I said, points-wise, they're all together, so it makes no sense. Not even putting like Connor McDavid or even if you put Hyman, you're getting nowhere near close to that. It takes all three of them for that whole line to get the plus 300, so there's no value there. No Arvidsson there. No Arvidsson or Podkolzin with Draisaitl, so don't really know what you want to do there, because after Hyman and Bouchard, it's a bunch of Kings, and then you literally have every other Oiler that's left. Wallman, Kane, Nugent Hopkins plus money. So odds-wise, I'm not really looking for anything there. Other than that, there's power plays here. Kempe still plus 160. Everybody else is still plus 200 and over. But those are the props that I like there. And then to finish this video up real quick, as you see that I'm monitoring a rain delay at the moment, let's go check out the top game. Now, that's been some really good, tough playoff hockey, but Montreal just can't score. Now, this will be one of their better matchups, because now Montreal, any line with Ovechkin, yeah, he can hit and maybe finish a check. But defensively, any line with Ovechkin is not going to be great, especially at this point in his career. Still, amazing player, great scorer. But if there's any time for Nick Suzuki and company to really carry this team and score some points, because they're not really getting much help at all from the middle six, or even the bottom nine, if you want to say, after the top line. But what I will say is, once again, attacking Montreal depth on the road. They keep attacking Montembeault. He's doing his best, but Montembeault consistently does his best to hold on to two. Like I said, sometimes he gives up the three off the empty net. And I think on the road, with the Ovechkin-Strome line, going to be looking at their best two-way line, especially with one of the best two-way players in Suzuki, and they're going to be playing their better defensemen. I think the play for this game, my favorite props, is going to have something of a Florida 2-esque feeling last night, with great odds and a great matchup. We're going to go with the second line. Even though they did somewhat erupt and did generate really well, they've pretty much had a good start. Maybe not statistically, but the opportunities, the danger chances, line 2 has been doing an amazing job. Even though game 1 was really all about the Ovechkin line, but their opening chances were great. I think they broke through at home in the second game, and obviously they really will break through in the next game, because being on the second line on the road, they're going to avoid Suzuki and Caulfield and see the lower line defensemen and get the middle lines of the Line A's and the New Hooks and the Brendan Gallaghers. And I think this is the day that you can get the Tom Wilson, McMichael. You could get Dubois and Wilson. Wilson on the power play too. Dubois, McMichael. Connor McMichael by himself, plus 122. I definitely like these combos here. I went for the defenseman combo once. Maybe if you want, you can go with the defenseman combo again of Carlson, Chikrin. But let me tell you something. Montreal's playing some great defense. They're just, being overwhelmed by the better team, because they're not hurting themselves by the power play. They're not. There's been 2 power play goals this whole series, and it's been won by each team. So after leaping on line 1, something told me, yes, Washington is the way better team, but Montreal's not killing themselves. They're just literally getting beat by the other team, and the top line is not getting no help, and they just can't get the puck through Logan Thompson. Literally, the score of the series, if you want to total everything up, I think it's 6-2. So, and I think it's like a ×3, ×4 advantage with breakaways and high danger chances for Washington compared to Montreal. So, all in all said, I really do like the Montreal 2 lineup. There are other things that I'm trying to look at and figure out for that LA Edmonton game, because like I said, there is a chance that Picard does get blown up. I mean, I'm not betting any money lines, but if anything, if you think with me, if you think they can also win this game again, also this could be another Minnesota situation, because obviously the sportsbook are expecting, they're almost about the same odds. They're right in the neighborhood of what Minnesota was. What Minnesota was last night, and they were at home. So I don't know. It seems pretty interesting. Definitely an interesting predicament to try and figure out, but that's what I have for today. Any other stuff that I want to pick at? They got to do everything possible that they can. So what I did look at, I can give you a look here what it currently is. Even the shot on goals for some of the Oilers aren't that high. You got Victor Arvidsson, him 2.5 is plus 154. Looks like an interesting, looks like a fun time, a fun prop to sweat. Bouchard plus 2.5, being a power play quarterback, he's plus 110, which without a doubt isn't bad. I definitely like that. What else? What else do we have here? I think McDavid's at 2.5. He definitely needs to like shoot today and get the 3. And I'm missing Mr. Draisaitl. There you go. Draisaitl is minus 160 for 2.5. So interesting mini ladders, I would say. At least I would think. This is definitely a game that, yes, he has to skate through and, try to create, but McDavid definitely has to be more active. He needs to be the McDavid of third period, ended out of nowhere not shooting that much, and then out of nowhere ended up with 3 shots on goal. 3 shots on goal, 3 assists, a goal, and 1 miss. So, but yeah, that's all I really have. That's what I'm pretty much interested in. Most likely, I got things to do this weekend, so this will be the last show for the weekend. Plus, I'll be getting ready for NASCAR myself. So, good luck tonight. If you're with me, we will be cheering for Washington 2, LA 2, LA, and definitely LA 3. Oh, and speaking of LA 3, let's take a look at what these props. I think the props are still looking good for that top line. If you think, like I said, I don't think they hold up much defensive resistance. I mean, they're definitely going to get their best to shut down that line because, yes, Byfield and Fiala have been doing their thing, but that top line of Kuzmenko, Kopitar, and Kempe have been killing. So, if you take a look at here, Kempe minus 184, the next prop drops all the way to 130, and Kopitar is under both of them, so plus 117. You put Kuzmenko there, it's plus 224. Kopitar, Kuzmenko plus 165. So yeah, there's still options and combos there to put later. Other than that, that's all I have for you. Good luck this weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the family. But let's get these props cashed tonight. Good luck, everyone. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is your boy Grade A Fantasy, signing off.